biggest obstacle you're preparing to face this week?
We're playing an AFL game. They're all brutal. We see the nature of it. Going into state, we're really excited to get away together for the period of time we're going. So back-to-back Adelaide games, and Port Adelaide. Powerful midfield. I think Butters is an inclusion, sort of really adds to that. So, I mean, that's the absolute one wood. They really got hold of us here pre-season. We'd like to think we've learned some lessons and improved. I think they'll feel in the same boat. But yeah, you're always just trying to get yourself, full of energy and clarity, and when the ball bounces, go. So, it's another opportunity to improve our footy fundamentally.
Can you take much out of that pre-season game, Ross?
Bits and pieces, but I mean, they're not the real deal. So yeah, look, I think it's going to be a good day. The stadium's great. So yeah, we're looking to improve our footy.
Another interesting inclusion for them, given what happened here is Finlayson. Ross, just what he gives them.
Yeah, he was very good that day down back, wasn't he? He's played well against us in the ruck. And forward, so I imagine he's pretty keen to atone for his individual piece and come back into the team. So yeah, he'll be a real threat.
Ross, playing Adelaide Oval, obviously playing anywhere is tough, but particularly they're taking the crowd out of it in the first 10 minutes. Is that even more important?
Yeah, I don't get hung up on the crowd. We want to be built to be a great team, right? So have plenty of interstate wins and parochial home crowds, and fundamentally they don't get a kick, right? If you drop down from Mars and you didn't know much about footy and someone was yelling and screaming, you wouldn't know how to interpret it, would you? I mean, we're just conditioned to, that's their home fans and means they're going good, right? So just let go of that, right? So it's not something I can control. I can control our method of play. We've drilled that, but you're right. Like, I think statistically, I think free kicks go in your favour at home, so hopefully we get a rub of the green there. And I think statistically over a period of time, home teams get it done more than away teams. So why all that so, I don't know. But all I know is really good teams win interstate, and it's an opportunity for us to go down that path.
What have you got planned for the week away? It's, as you say, it's a good opportunity to get blokes together for a few days. And
really well balanced. Like we've got a few with young children.
Yeah. So
like Brad Hill will come back and Jimmy Webster will come back. That's really important. And a couple of our high performance staff have that opportunity as well, because there's a load at home. So we tick that box and we really want that to happen. But the others, well, we'll just do a normal program, a couple of days off. Our First Nation players, organised, we'll go away on a fishing, hunting trip, so for want of a better term. But so that they'll connect with the land, which is really what we value here. We've got a number of First Nations, so we're thrilled with that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's a win for them. Other than that, it's just a normal week. We give them their own time, planned times where we come together and where they get their own space, but we'll just roll on. But we're really squarely focused on training well today. We've got a couple of tests really.
Yeah.
In particular, Jack Steele, he's made a lot of ground and feels pretty good, but we'll see, it's sort of not certain. But if he was to declare himself, we would play him, but if there's any doubt, we won't play him. Max King will train fully today, so he's bearing down. So yeah, there's a bit of Alex Tarou will make his debut this week, so he's been incredible in rehab really. And why I say that is a young player's a very tough space and he hasn't missed a beat, and you get a feel for their character and their work ethic, and he hasn't wobbled. And I mean, we're just seeing he's a really natural athlete and mover and competitor. So he's got a lot of development in him, but we're really excited to see how that goes as well.
So through his draft year, he was intercept marking, flying for his marks. It's obviously such a big step up. How do you sort of reinforce that for a player to use their strength against much better opposition? Yeah,
well, Robert Walls, I remember I played my first game with him, and he said the more you go for, the more you get. So I always tell him that, so more you go for, more you get. So we've been seeing it at training, to be honest. It's a bit like Jeremy Howe, I think, really quite special in the air.
Jack need to be 100%, or would you take him in if he says, I'm good enough to get through?
I think if you declare yourself, you're 100%, so that's the space I live in.
And Max, another week?
Yeah, he won't play this week. Yeah, we think, you know, he'll keep pushing for next week. He's done a power of work. We're conservative with it. Nothing on scam went in. They just found a bit of scar tissue and needed to be debrided. And since then, it's almost been faultless. So he's making really good ground. And Dan Butler should train fully with the group today. So yeah, we're getting a few back, and we think Howard and Philippou round 7. So yeah, we've been under siege a little bit, but we're sort of getting there.
Bevo put holding the ball on the agenda during the week, said he wanted some clarity from the AFL. They need to act and sort of clarify exactly when, why and how it's being paid. Do you share that? Have you had an issue? Or
Yeah, look, I haven't heard his comments.
It's basically that the AFL needs to act.
You're paraphrasing him.
Well,
Yeah.
there's confusion and chaos, he said.
Yeah, look, they're strong words. They're strong words. I think it's a game of confusion and chaos, so nothing really changes. I think it's a tough job umpiring. It went too far one way, where people doing 360s and 100 kilo men 196. So look, I don't think it's ever going to be perfect. We'll keep aiming for clarity, and clarity creates self-management. It helps with your mental health. So let's all just keep pushing for clarity, I suppose.
I think O'Connell, how is he?
Yeah, he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
We'll be conservative with him. It's been run and done, hasn't it? So it was interesting. So for me, I saw the push, but I do think he's a little bit unfortunate, Mansell, because the way I viewed that is, yeah, there was the push, but then I thought Liam drove himself to maybe try and intercept as well. So I think it's on both parties there. I'm not super comfortable with that decision. I think the other ones where you're conscious, see the back pack forming and push him in and they're getting hurt. I see that more than that one. Do you like that one, Rich? I can see that.
There's been a lot of commentary about comparing that to the Laylor Gimby one, which is really sort of where it all started in the pre-season. And people saying that's the more obvious one, that's the one they should have acted on.
Yeah.
When Laylor ended up with a fractured jaw. Is that more what you're talking about?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I heard the noise. I couldn't be bothered with it, to be honest.
Do you think it shouldn't have been any weeks, Ross?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I understand. I feel for Mansell.
Yeah. So I had to figure out just last one. He's talking about being under siege, but you're coming off two.
I've never spoken about being under siege.
So with the
Were we under siege, were we?
No, with your
round
you
3.
Or how many players you had out injured. But what I was getting at, you're coming off 2 good wins going to an Adelaide trip, the importance of keeping a little bit of handy momentum going. Yeah,
we're keen to keep the momentum going, but we know your last moment doesn't count for your next, whether it's good or bad, right? So I'm trying to stay present and in the moment. So it starts on the training track, so I'm really squarely focused on, and we had a pre-train meet, so we were sharp in there, so tick that box, have a sharp warm-up, tick that box, so very process-driven, but we're excited in the improvement of our youth, the continued development, of Owens and Malia and Wilson and our senior players in good form, so I think Travaglia's debut sort of flew under the radar a little bit, like 11 contested possessions. He was in the starting midfield, the 4th mid, and Garcia, second-year player, maybe 10 games, was our 3rd mid, around the experience of McRae and Marshall. So we're really pleased with that. But look, we've got heaps of work to do. It's just, I think, you just catch bits and pieces like Hawthorn, how they went to the draft for 5 years and 5 years of first-round draft picks. So, we're trying to do it quick. We've had a couple of years, but yeah, it's exciting where we're at. I think but look, in the near term, we're trying to play finals and trying to win games, right? But I think Port come off a loss. Is that what happened? Yeah. So, Kenny's going to have them wound up. We've got a lot of respect for Kenny. So, but we're looking forward to the battle, right? Like, you feel sick. That's where you want to be, right? In the fight. So it's a privilege to be in the fight. We take it seriously, but we want to enjoy the grind of trying to get better. That's the real challenge. Thank you.
Thank you.